Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Oh, my God. Something as serious as...
Yeah, man, the off-mic commentary that happens around this place.
So good morning. We were actually having a kind of a women's health conversation off air, kind of. And so just so folks be aware, there will be no Be Healthy, Be You today. They're preparing for the luncheon that they're having today down at Thrive on King Drive. So again, phone lines open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Man, I think I want to. Can I change chairs? Can you take me off?
Absolutely.
Camera? Take me off camera for a moment.
Sure. Give me just a second to.
Again.
He has made his move, y'all.
I'm gonna feel a little bit better camera angle. Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice again. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250.
Man, why is it when people put on the suit jacket, they whole suave just changes?
Hey man, Pretty Ricky is what they call him.
Hey, what about when you wash your car?
Oh yeah, Doc, you lean the seat back, drive slow for nothing.
Car seems like it just rides smooth because you just wash your car. Yeah, so kind of same thing. You know, you clean up, take a shower.
Yeah,
you get those burdens off of you.
Hey man, turn your feet to the left and you out there.
Turn your feet to the left.
Yeah, slew foot.
Oh yeah.
You understand me?
That's what you want them to see your shoes.
Yeah, that's the you understand me pose.
I was watching Keon was a big Willie Dynamite fan.
Yeah, Doc.
And they show Willie Dynamite coming sideways down the stairs. Pimp C's come sideways down the stairs.
Hey, I still walk that way though.
Is that right?
Yeah, sideways. I don't know why.
Player.
Hey, it's something in my feet, man. That was in the posture. It's you understand me.
Too big, the whole foot won't hit the stairs. You turn it sideways.
Hey, Doc, listen, man. I talk to my feet. I tell them,
feet don't fail me.
There you go, Jack.
Feet don't fail me.
So you do the same thing.
Oh man, that was that Parliament. Ain't it?
Yes, sir.
414-444-5250.
Man, if you could have heard how they talked about you this morning, Keith.
I did hear.
Oh boy.
And
being
the bigger man that I am.
Getting Keith.
You just
get him. I didn't
just can't let
you said something too.
Can't let people down, even though it was true.
Hey, there goes arms folded again, Debo. His arms was folded again.
Even though it was true.
Hey, he said, even though it was true. He folded.
I used to say this as a manager to supervisors or even to the staff. I said, I'm going to defend you to the end. Just don't let what they say about you be true.
That part, yeah.
Because, sometimes, as I say, your enemy is right.
Yeah.
So just make it easier for me.
Yeah.
Make it easy on yourself. Jerry Butler. Always got a song for it. What it is.
Memory.
We had and this is Women's History Month. And again, I know just for those who join us on YouTube, Facebook, you see again Ramadan Mubarak to all my Muslim brothers and sisters who are in the midst of Ramadan. It was very interesting to hear how they're dealing with Ramadan in Gaza and the difficulties. People are already hungry, and so again, Ramadan Mubarak. But this came up. It's always amazing how this is Women's History Month, and the fact that it's necessary kind of tells you that women, there is so much progress still to be made by women, excuse me, where they're fully recognized as fully human. I hate to put it that way. And just kind of where we are in American society and probably in the world. It says something about a country that is as advanced as America is in terms of technology, the economy, you name it, we're very advanced. But when it comes to our status, our caste system, as Isabel Wilkerson describes it, we have people who are at the top, people who are at the bottom, people who are just kind of middling, treading water in terms of social progress. And so something came up Sunday as part of a discussion in Sunday school. this whole question of how women should dress, and it I know there's a lot. It's layered, it's complicated. We have everything from youth to old age. But it came up, and I know Debo grew up in this tradition, and maybe a little bit even and certainly in the Baptist tradition. I won't be able to speak for other faith traditions and speak from my own in my experience, where there's scripture in the Bible that says that women should be modestly dressed. They should not adorn themselves, with jewelry, and they should only be attracted to, and I put in quotations, their husband, their man. And then it gets to, and the whole issue came up about what's appropriate. I know Michelle and we were talking about this, but it seemed like the discussion, even when Michelle and I were having this discussion last week, and the discussion I heard Sunday, and other discussions I had, it seems that the onus is on the woman. And so that becomes my question. Should the onus be on the woman in terms of how she dresses? Or should it be on the beholder of the woman and how she's dressed? And what I mean by that beholder, the people who look at that person and then make judgment. I think, one of the things I heard, which I do not subscribe to, that men are just so weak that if they see a woman in what they might think is sexualized, that the man reacts and somehow it's the woman's fault. I think March is the month that we do Denim Day. And Denim Day is based on a rape case that happened in Italy, where this woman was wearing tight jeans, and she was raped, and the perpetrator was able to beat the case because the judge said that it was her fault because of how she was dressed. I remember the Mike Tyson, Desiree Washington situation, where Mike Tyson ended up going to jail for rape. And there were people who were arguing that, she should have never went to the hotel room, da, 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 da. And so I wonder, why are we still putting the onus on women and not putting the onus on men, and how men react and respond to women. We've had conversations as part of Be Healthy, Be You. We talk about breastfeeding, and it's so difficult for women to be able to find or be able to publicly breastfeed because we so sexualize the breast. We were having this kidding conversation prior to us coming on. So that's my question today. Who is the onus on? Is the onus on the beholder, the person who looks? Let's get the call because we don't want to lose them. Yeah. Or is it on the woman and how she's dressed? 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Caller, welcome to the program.
Well, good morning, people.
Good morning.
The one thing I would say, I come up, in a Christian family, mom and dad, 10 sisters. And my dad was real strict on my sisters not wearing tight pants and all this, and showing their panty lines and all that. That's just who he was. He's from the old school for real. But I don't believe in women going to church in like spandex, but men should learn to hold themselves. But Nowadays, it's just terrible because they don't leave anything for the bedroom. Everything is hanging out. I'm raising a 14-year-old daughter, and I'm teaching her how to keep herself, as a young lady, so you can be respected. Because when you put yourself out there, you know, guys if you dress like a H, they're gonna treat you like an H. If you dress more modest and understanding, they might treat you with more respect, but you have to demand your respect as a woman. But no, we shouldn't put them down, because they're human. Women are human. Look, when we wasn't, as men, wasn't held up as human, much human, only 3/5 of a human, and it's still to the day that we're not worth much in the eyes of the Caucasian, but we've been black people, innovators. We got to hold up our women, and our women got to really come back to our men, because one thing about our black women, and it's the only race that I noticed, they say, I don't need a husband. That is not cool. I hear
she
that
might not.
so often.
Why do you think that a black woman is
I'm
any
just saying,
more?
Well, okay, let's say that.
Well, let me ask the
had
question.
these
Why do you
children.
think that black women should be more in need of a husband than white women?
Well, let's put it like this here. We got women that have had children with these men. And this is where I'm going with this here. And then we're going to go to the other part. They have had children with these men. They don't want the husband. They just want the paycheck. But society did that. Created that in them. Now, as of me knowing, because I had a couple of nephews that played professional football, NFL, and generally when these black guys get that money, they go get a white girl. They send the money right back into the white race.
That's not true.
Well,
the vast majority of black athletes are married to black women.
Well, the ones around me is with white girls. Okay.
But I'm just saying, but the vast majority of black athletes are married to black women.
Married to black women, right?
Okay.
But the thing here is that we gotta, as a people, we gotta put more value on ourselves.
Okay.
Because we are worth a lot, and because we're innovators, we go roll with the punches. It was a guy when Bernie Madoff did what he did. The guy had 14 million. He lost 7 of that 14, and he committed suicide behind that. And we as a people, how many of us coming up have had that kind of money at hand? But as a people, we got to stand up, and our women got to take more value of themselves as well nowadays.
Well, why would you say that there's a lack of value because a woman dresses a certain way? She might value herself. She might value her physical beauty. Why is that something where she's not valuing herself?
You come out the front door in the morning heading to work, and you're a professional woman. You're going to dress pretty much professionally, because when you go in the workplace, just say you work in the bank, you're going to go in there and you're going to dress professional. I would say you should, because if you go in there with nothing but some spandex on, you got your breasts hanging all out, and you really don't care about your person of show.
Again, is the onus on the dresser or the onus is on the beholder?
Well, on the beholder and the dresser should be wanting more respect for themselves.
Why wouldn't I respect her because she's dressed a certain way?
Well, you can respect her. But you know how society is. Society look at you like, if you're just like her, you is a.
No, but then, even then, when we talk about prostitution, because that's kind of where we're going to. When you talk about prostitution, the vast majority of women who are in prostitution is not there because they enjoy sex. They're there because they're trying to survive, and in their minds, their body is their money maker. It's helping them survive.
Well, they're trying to. Okay, let's go there for a hot second, because I have a business in one area, and it's Prostitution Alley over off Lisbon, right? And the women, and I'll be honest with you, I speak to a lot of my pray with them. They see me, they run because they don't want to talk, sit. And the biggest, I have not seen, I can't say that. I've seen a couple of them that said, well, I got a couple kids and I'm just out here. I said, is it for the drugs or is it for to maintain your home? And she said, I got caught up in the drugs. But the biggest of them is just straight drug addicts. There's no more out here maintaining their homes or the things they did, because I'm going to be honest, I've been out there before, had women out there, dealing with women out there, and God turned my head. The Spirit turned my head around, because after my daughter was born in the 80s, I couldn't see myself putting women out there like that anymore. Because I said, if somebody was to put my daughter out there, I didn't want it to come back on me.
All right.
So, but what I'm saying is that when you go out here and you deal with these women these days, they're hey man, they're out here bad. These drugs, it's the pimp now.
All right.
The drugs are pimp now. All right, thank you, sir.
I appreciate you. Call it when we get up. Okay. Call it. Welcome to the program.
You know, this is very, very entertaining. Let's go there. When you had a woman who was in church 24/7, who wore nothing but dresses, who did everything at home, you was out, y'all was cheating on her. That's where the outside babies came from. So let's not get all upset because women have the right to independence. It sounds like to me some men are jaded and bitter because that woman don't need to depend on you. See, because back in the day, she needed a man in 40s and 50s because she wasn't allowed to work. Mm-hmm. So now she don't need to listen to you snore and fart all night and use the bathroom with the bathroom door open. Now everybody all upset because she's too independent. But here's what I find to be so funny. When y'all get ready to die and you can't own your own urine, the one you were trying to play hero to didn't come to you because you don't got no money. But the one you did wrong, you crying to, talking about help me. Yeah. So let's not sit here and say our women is bad. Well, you're on Lisbon. What do you expect to see? That's Crackhead Alley. Yeah. That's Lisbon.
Yep, that's the strong.
You ain't gonna see no woman living in River Hills with 2 homes, 2 mansions, who dating CEO. It's Lisbon.
Yeah.
But we need to also be honest. Yeah. But have you noticed? The men who got the issue are always the ones complaining. If you're so great about your woman, maybe you should treat her right. Maybe she won't have to go to the bow-legged dude around the street with the Cadillac. Maybe she shouldn't have to wait on you hand and foot. Maybe you should cook for her. Yeah. Versus saying that I'm the man house. And then you sitting there farting and don't even say it. Gulping it down, belching 24/7. Like, really? Come on. You know, I'm a hang up because this is why there is a division. Because if a woman have too much independence, oh, she's masculine. But if she wait on you hand and foot and clean them dirty drawers, now she doing her job. Like, really? Yeah, come on. And then on top of this, some of y'all will be so bitter and jaded and put women in certain positions, and then you got to find God to get right. But it's not your heart to go back and say, I want to apologize for being a nigga and dragging you through the mud and putting these beliefs in your head. But I had to get right with Holy Christ, hallelujah, to find who I am. Y'all got to stop being so bitter. Maybe y'all need to start wearing the panties. Can we keep it? Remember this. The woman have always been the lioness of the den. She will go out there and fight that white man before you would. You would tell her, calm down. She'll be outside with 2 meat cleavers for her family. So y'all might want to think about that. Have a good day.
Oh, wow.
414-444-5250. 414-444-5250. But now what?
But what I do want to say is, for the first caller that called in, yes, you are on Lisbon and you're going to see them walking them down the street. My concern was when he said that when they see me coming, they run. And that stuck out to me because I'm going to tell you why. if you're showing love to them, it's going to draw them to you, not run them away from you. So you're having conversations with them about their lifestyle, and my question then is, how are you having a conversation with them? Like, are you beating them down? Are you, are you constantly scolding them and telling them that what they're doing is wrong, instead of loving on them and drawing them in so you can impart something to them? So when he said that, that kind of made me say, hold up. Because if you're operating from the godly principle, which he sounds like he's a man of the cloth, or he's living a righteous life. The scripture tells you, with love and kindness will I draw. And if they're running from you, my question is, are they running because they don't want to hear the truth, or are they running because you're constantly beating them down?
You want to take a caller? We got a break. Okay. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, morning. I had a comment.
Good morning.
Morning. This Minister Parris.
Yes.
You know what, Minister Mack here, I done messed up here. I'm sitting up looking at YouTube. I think I'm on the wrong program. What is your topic for the day, brother?
This is what?
What is your topic for the day? I'm sorry.
He said your topic on
topic.
YouTube, because he's on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking at the one when you were talking about the brother or the sister of the attire, their dress wear.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, are we okay? I'm behind it.
Yeah, it's like a 20-second delay. It's like 20, 30 seconds.
I'm sorry. So the first caller, it's no question, he's a pimp. He was a pimp. He brought it out very well. Olivia, you're the slave, got distracted on his way. So what happened, it's kind of 50-50, Brother Parris. The reason being, I raised 3 daughters. You can put pressure on them and tell them, oh, put these pants on, these, so your panty lines and all that stuff. And then if mom is there, she's going to step in and say, you can't, or whatever the case may be. We can only go so far with the attire. Yeah, we can make them wear long dresses that go below their ankles. And then a man out in the street says, oh, she got some fine ankles. So there are so many different ways. But what I will say, Earth Wind kind of brought it out real well. The beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. But I will say also that it's kind of scary, because some companies have, dress codes, especially a bank. I mean, if, you got your chest all hanging out like that, of course the Bible, the flesh is weak, but we do have desires of the flesh. We're imperfect. So our life is like this. It's you. It's on you. It's on how you feel about yourself and your family life. If you're a happily married man, it'll show. It's not your place to tell a woman how to dress and this and that in the street. However, she might be the most pleasant and most wonderful person in the world. It's on how we present the situation. You can look her in the eyes and see the most beautifulest woman, and she might have on jeans and a old raggedy flannel shirt, and that could be enticing if you ask me. My wife, when she do it, it looks good to me. But what I'm saying is, and only this, and I'll get going, that in the society today, and even our professional prostitutes, you don't even know. If you go up in, I was up in the trade next door to the Pfizer Forum the other day. A couple of sisters was up in there dressed just with the best of clothes, the nicest look, and just coming from old school and knowing old school, those sisters was up in there to get paid, but you would never know
Bucks in
it.
town? Were the Bucks in town?
You would never really know it.
Were the Bucks in town?
Was it a game going on?
This was actually New Year's Eve.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
well.
Okay.
And then what happened? It was, and when they went to the bar, it was some white guys that just kind of flocked towards them and was just having conversation, you know. So them sisters be knowing, when if that's their way of life, if there's their livelihood, that's what they do.
But I think
You
that,
know.
but isn't the overarching the question I asked? Is it on the beholder, or is it on the
It's
dresser?
50-50. It's split down the
Are
middle,
men that
brother.
weak?
That ain't weak.
Okay.
Because let me just say this: if I'm a single man and I see a beautiful woman and she's dressed if she's all flound out there and I'm seeing everything I need to see, I don't need to see no more.
Yeah, but just because she's dressed like that and you don't need to see no more, that don't give you the right to have it and touch it and feel on it. That don't.
Oh, I never said I was gonna do that. When I said I was gonna do that,
I didn't say you, brother. I didn't say you.
Okay.
Ouch.
Right. I didn't say you, brother.
And Pootie Tang, Biggie Shorty, when she out on the street, and she said, "What? A woman can't be dressed up? You think she out here, selling stuff because she dressed a certain way?"
Hey, man, if you feel good, then you're gonna look good.
All right.
And you're gonna
Absolutely, that's the point.
All right. You listen to Community Voice. Is it the dresser?
Thank you, brothers. Have a good day now.
Thank you. Is it the dresser or is it the beholder? Caller, I see you. I'm gonna grab you right after the break. We'll be right back.
Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice. Caller, I'm gonna get you, but man, no, you could. But man, I was watching Friday after next.
Oh, yeah.
Clifton Powell and Pinky. I'm gonna blow your head smooth off. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Good
Hey,
morning.
Keith, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. And just a quick response to your question you asked. It's both of the individuals. It's on both of the individuals. A woman dressed to be seen, and a man has to be able to see her. But when he does see her, then he makes that judgment. But it's on both parties, because it's like a man, like you said, shower, get dressed, get clean. It ain't for nothing. If you go outside, don't nobody see you, who knows? You know, just like you get a woman get dressed, go outside. Yeah, she's standing out there, but if nobody ever see her, who knows?
So who's
it's
more
on both.
sexualized in that situation, the male or the female?
It's both.
So men are as equally sexualized as women?
A man can see a woman, like the caller said, in a t-shirt and jeans and be like, man. Whereas a woman will see a man in janitor wear and see something more. Like, oh, okay.
Paycheck.
So it's on. I'm just saying it's on both.
Oh, you got a job? You got a uniform?
Got a job.
Oh yeah, paycheck.
Well, it depends on the perspective from the person who's putting on the show.
Yeah. Totally
So that's all I'm saying. It's on both.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Otherwise, we naked and we don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I do have to.
We
with that.
still blaming Eve.
Well, I mean, I think. Well, I'm just gonna speak from my point of view. When I was going out to the club, when I got dressed and got my hair lined up and all of the other good stuff, you was looking good. You was actually doing that so you can catch what you wanted.
Okay.
So the whole thing was, man, I'm gonna get dressed up and hopefully something that I like. It's almost like fishing. I throw the line in the water and then the what come out. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't, you throw it back in the water. And that's how it is with how I was thinking when I was getting dressed and put on the flyers thing and you put on that good smelling cologne, because it was to attract something that you like. Now you would attract all type of stuff, but you would have to filter through.
How did that brute work, man?
Oh, Brute 45. Listen here, man. That Brute 45 burnt my neck so much. I still got it. So my neck.
A little
Hey, Doc, you put it on and sizzle. That Brute 45.
We was talking about the other week, contact dermatitis. It looked like you got hickeys, but it's really cologne
it's
burn.
real burning this dog out your neck.
Welcome to the program. Got my brute on.
That Brute 45.
Oh man, caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, good afternoon to you. Good morning to you, brothers.
All right, before you get started, sisters, love to hear from you. Go ahead, brother.
Well, we're going back to the ladies. The ladies piece, man, is a rough thing. When you talk about the attire of a woman, the more that a woman reveals shows her rebelliousness, and that's what most men look for. Most players, when they going out to choose and cop, they looking for a rebellious situation, whether she got piercings, tongue piercings, tattoos up the Wyona, what kind of wig style she wearing. This is a sign of rebelliousness, and it also identifies the easiness. So
she's expressing rebellion. So,
but this is what we. Okay, why you want to fight me, man? I'm getting you some good. Look at man. The strong must survive. Hold on, brother.
His arms folded over here.
And the weak get eaten alive. Okay, I know bros that hustle their mama's man for less than $1.
Okay, I got all of that. That's about survival. And here's the other piece of that. I set up. Oh, hold on, man.
Let me tell you something, man. Now, if you want me to learn you something, I can learn you something. If you think you
come with.
I'm gonna listen to Keith.
No. What I'm saying is, but just go overall. Brother, my good brother. brother. All I'm saying is the question is it on the beholder or is it on the dresser? And we got all these value judgments. And I know we come from our lived experience. Some of us former players, pimps. I got all of that. But in a general conversation, what does it say then about how we view women in society and how we have so objectified them and we have sexualized them? That is the question or my statement.
Brother, she has sexualized. Brother, listen. She has sexualized herself. See, this is why when a man walks
Is
into
there
a
something
room,
wrong with that? If she chooses to do it?
You won't let me explain myself before you cut me up. You let all these other jerks come in and talk, and they ain't got nothing to talk about. Then when a real nigga get on the phone, you want to cut in.
All right. I'm sorry, bro.
No, you're not sorry. You mean that because you want to show that you can stump the player.
Come on, make your point, man.
The point is this, man. When a woman sexualizes herself, when a guy walks into the room, whether he's a good man or a bad man, when he sees, this is what I tell girls. Listen, if you don't want to be looked on as the easy target in the room, then dress, save all of the secrets to the bedroom or to wherever you're going with it. Because when a man sees you butt naked, he's looking in his eyes and in his mind that it won't be hard to get the rest of them threads off of her once we get back to the room or to the car or whatever. You know, a few dollars may be able to get the rest of those clothes off of her. Listen, man, when a woman is in the streets, first of all, when a player is out looking for a woman, he's looking for the rebelliousness. That's what I was trying to tell you, but you jumped in, you wanted to fight me.
All right, okay.
Okay, so once you identify with the weak one in the room, now the real classy broad, she's a challenge for most men. The girl that's got the clothes on, she ain't got the cherry bomb wig on. You know, she's dressed. Her attire is she represents a challenge. And most men don't want a challenge. They want something easy. And that looks easy. When a whore get ready to get out, first of all, she needs to be schooled. Look, baby, what's the number one rule that your mama always taught you as a little girl? And my daddy taught me as a little boy.
Meech, when you go in and give a micro population, we're talking about in general. We're not talking about players who are out looking for, because look, everybody's out looking for somebody.
I'm talking about a man. I'm talking about you.
Why are you talking
when
about
you go
me,
into
man?
a club and you see a girl half naked, that's the easy target.
No,
you
it isn't.
Turn your head,
not necessarily.
But that's the one that you
and,
know.
And you're assuming that I might be attracted. I might not be. I might not be.
Man.
No, I'm just saying I might not be. I mean, it could, because what we find attractive is everything that's been poured into us, all around us, what we look for. And here's the word. I got into trouble, used this word before. It's a fetish, right? There's things that you look for that, oh man. But for me, and I remember this sister having this conversation with me, and women have figured this out. Brothers, it's easy to get sex from a woman. What I mean by that, you can get sex, you ain't necessarily getting her.
Yeah.
Because she ain't necessarily into that. She doing what she doing. She be getting her rocks off like you getting your rocks off. Or she could be moving on to something else because she realized that's how I can manipulate you.
Yep.
Don't think that, oh man. So this woman told me, she said, look, I'm not gonna give people pressure. She was talking about sex. Your precious ain't your sex. Your precious is your soul, is your intellect.
Yep.
That's your precious. Those are the things that all these outward expressions of things are usually inner things that we're dealing with or we want to express. So this whole idea, getting sex is easy. I hate to put it that way, but it is.
Let me say this to you,
it is. So it ain't about the sex sometimes, the sex like in rape.
Hold on.
It ain't sex. Sex is the weapon used for rape.
Yes, sir. That is
Hold
true.
on.
That is true.
Listen. I don't know where you been, but sex was hard to get when I was a kid, and sex is hard to get now. That's
No,
why
sir. No, sir. That's
why
not
they buying.
true.
Wait, hold on.
That's
Well, why they buying it then?
Well, hold on. I can tell you why. So let me jump in this. First of all, if you got a good mouthpiece, you can talk your way into anything. That's one. If you look like something, you can use your mouthpiece again and talk your way into anything because she's attracted to you for how you look, your physical appearance. A lot of these people are paying for it because one, they're trying to get something that they can't have. So since you can't have it, I'm gonna pay for it.
Brother, it's the convenience. It's the convenience.
It's also power. It's also power and control.
Exactly.
It's also power and control. There's a whole lot that goes into.
And then wait, hold on. Now, normally, Meech, I wouldn't agree with you on certain things. Normally, I wouldn't. Hold on, just let me finish, bro. No, that ain't true, bro. But let me finish.
You fought me yesterday when I said something about the government of democracy, and you went.
I know you said "In God We Trust" mean this, and that's not what it meant. Tell the truth, Doc. Tell the truth. So pretty much what I'm saying. Hold on, Jack, because you changed the topic. But let me tell you this. To be honest with you, I normally don't agree with you with certain things, but what you said with certain things was true. Certain men with that mindset that's looking to score will look for the woman with the loudest wig, with the loudest tattoos.
What does that symbolize?
Let me finish, bro. I'm about to tell you. I just said I was with you.
Okay, thank you.
It depends on the man's mind state, because if he's in that mind frame of, man, I'm looking for a one night stand. I'm looking for something to just kick it with. He's looking for the loudest wig, tattoos, how she's dressed, how she's carrying herself, how she's talking, because that's an easy target for him. That is true.
He thinks.
So,
how shallow are we? Hey, bro, let me say this to you.
Bro, you didn't let me finish. Just let me finish. I still got some. Let me finish, bro. Just let me finish. Let me finish.
Hurry up, man. Keep cut me off.
No, he ain't gonna cut you off.
Yes, I am.
Oh yeah, he probably will. No, but listen. No, seriously. You do have a point with that, and it do depends on the dude mind frame. Because again, if you got a mouthpiece, if you see something like that, you can talk your way into that.
So then it's the beholder.
So then it's the beholder. That is true. It's the beholder. So that's what it really trickles down to, is the original question of what he asked.
Brother.
Yes, sir.
Listen to this here. At face value, you are correct. But that body, that lifestyle, or that appearance will take a straight man, a man that loves his wife, and have him to question his loyalty to his
No,
wife.
sir. That's not true. It's all about your mind frame, Meech. That's not true, bro. Because you can have a wife at home and see something out on the street, and they're not even attractive. No, but brother, we've been listening to you for like 79 seconds, though. You got 43 more seconds on me.
Wow, let me clock
Man,
this.
look at sex appeal. Let me explain to you something. Once a woman discovers her sex appeal, see, this is the danger in taking a good little girl and giving her some of that game, because you can turn a good woman into a whore. But the sad part about it, you can never ever turn her back. Okay, only God can turn her back.
That is true.
And sometimes she'll run away from that.
First of all, okay, man. I got you, Meech.
Go ahead.
I got no caller, man. I got no caller. Let me get the other caller. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Man, you wouldn't even let me get to the guts of this thing.
Man, I've been gutting it out for about 3 minutes.
Because you're so busy calling people names. You should just stay focused on your point.
Man, but you got Right out in there, and he comes in.
Because Right out gonna stand 10 toes down, because you can't get that past me, Meech.
When you say 10 toes down, what do you mean?
Man, I stand on my 2 toes, on my 2 feet. I stand planted.
You know, that's how I met my wife.
10 toes down?
No, she cited that. That's a lyric from Kiss, right?
Sure is, yeah.
And
do you know what 10 toes is? Do you know what 10 toes came from?
So she was talking about this, and it was a sex education thing. And so she said, so I had never heard it before. I don't listen to Prince's lyrics. I'm into the beat. So she explained what it was.
Yeah.
I said, well, I kind of like her.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. 10 toes down, bro.
All right, brother, do you know where 10 toes come from?
Yeah, we know, man.
All right,
I appreciate you, man. Next caller. Now I got our next caller, man.
You're trying to school me about 10 toes.
Yeah, man.
And you only got 3 of them.
Let's not go down rabbit holes. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Thank you.
It's something different.
Sister, thank you. What's happening?
This is Angela.
Hey,
How
Angela.
you doing, Keith?
I'm good.
That's good. Meech, you ain't you ain't no real man. Stand down, move around, clown. He gets that man. I need to meet him.
Well,
because
don't let him. Don't get into the diversion. Make your point, because he'll take you someplace you don't need to go. Go on, dear. Hello. Okay. All right. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Okay, 414-444-5250. Sisters, you hear the ignorance of the brothers. Sisters.
Man, we got a call right here.
Welcome to the program.
Jesus.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Parris. Thank you for taking my call.
Good
I had to call you guys back.
Ramadan
I'm not trying to
Mubarak,
speak.
brother.
Ramadan Kareem. Assalamu alaikum to you, brother. I'm not trying to speak for women or men or whatever, but I wanted to, because I know you were initially talking about appearance, attire, dress, and then it became about some other things.
Yep.
So, and your distinction is it on the honest on the eye of the beholder or the one who's presenting themselves.
Okay.
So I wanted to add this to the conversation, or maybe this probably is something that we should take into consideration about America's role and why the people of the society like to not wear too many clothes or whatnot. I mean, I've worn tank tops and shorts that go past my knees and stuff like that. You know, so it's because it's hot. But I don't know, maybe I'm attractive. I don't know. But I ain't out there like, look at me. But I understand that America has stripped us as a people initially and then represented us in the light or in the way that they have influenced our behavior as the people. And so I understand that the mentality or the prevailing mentality for our people is what America presents itself as. America, is free, independent, somewhat irresponsible with the way she presents herself to the world. Be like me, look like me, act like me, and this is what you can become. So if that's the mentality and the way that America presents itself and the people, which we are a part of the population, and we've been reared here in America under its customs and ways or mores, or I think that's the way you say that. So we shouldn't be surprised to see our people or even see ourselves in a less attire, because we have to understand that this is something that has been rooted or ingrained in our mentality, in the whole of the society, the Caucasians, everybody out here bucket naked. So, it's up to you if that's what, and if you are in the environment where people would want you to make people focus on your mind. And that's what the Bible is trying to say about the woman with being modest. And in the Nation of Islam, the sisters cover up so that the men, which I am, we can't look at their adornments or, get caught up in her beauty as, her physical aesthetics, as opposed to her intellect, her wisdom, and the way that she exemplifies being a woman, because that's, only woman can be a woman, at least in my mind. So when we go outside, we're taught to lower our gaze. That's what the Holy Quran says. So you shouldn't be staring at a person and, and freaking them out like you a perv or something like that. But I know as men, if you see a bucket naked woman, you gonna look.
You can, and that's natural.
Yeah,
that's natural.
So thank you.
And guess what? She gonna look at you.
Exactly.
Jermaine was talking about this guy who was, man, he was all cut, took his shirt off. I ain't mad at him. All right, man. I ain't mad at him because he can. I think the other thing is youth. Yeah. I used to say that, back in the day, women used to, because I think with feminism, women started burning their bras, stopped wearing their bras. The bras were a symbol of oppression. So that's when women in the 70s decided to go bradless. And so they had halter tops. I said, now some of these older sisters, you need 2 halters.
Right.
Call her up to the program.
I know that's right. Yeah,
Call her up to the program.
Yeah, good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Okay.
I listen to you and Michelle. The first thing I need to know is you and Michelle taking y'all blood pressure medicine every morning.
Blood pressure medicine.
Yeah, because y'all let that one brother call and get up on y'all scooter and get your pressure out proportion every morning. I just every morning. Hey, he know about every subject you ever come up with. But you know what? Hey, but talking about what you're talking about this morning, hey, you know you're right. If we treat our black queen like black queen, we wouldn't have to buy so many of them. You know?
Yeah.
So, hey, you like I said, you carry yourself and present yourself like somebody. Then, a young lady or whatever, I want you to be somebody. But, we carry ourselves so floppy sometimes. And we try to get the best of everything. And a lot of young ladies just not interested in it,
Okay.
But, hey, other than that, just like I listen to you, Michelle, when she on her show and she spend time on your show, I wonder what doctor y'all going to, because I need some of the blood pressure, man.
All right, man.
All right, my brother.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. You're listening to Community Voice. The phone lines are open, 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Someone text me, said, you notice no women are calling. Is that because women are the true players? 414-444-5250. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Call, I see you. Good morning. Welcome back. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
So I tuned in a little bit late, and I did hear that some people had a lot of difficulty with sex, and that's unfortunate because in the 80s, around that time that I believe this person grew up, I think Ted Koppel or somebody did a segment on their show talking about the enormous teen pregnancy rate in Milwaukee. Do you remember that, Keith?
Yep.
And so I think we probably had per capita more teenage parents during that time frame. So everybody else was successful. I don't know what was going on with people who announced themselves as players, but I think Jermaine was really, I mean, by definition, on target because to be that, you do have to be, if you delved into Donald Goins and Iceberg Slim, immaculate. And like Morris Day said, the way you look to a girl keeps you on her mind. That's in that song, Love is the Game. And so I don't know that part of it I don't get. But the topic I think initially was the lack of clothing that people are wearing.
No, the onus, who's the onus on the dresser or the beholder?
That creates sexual encounters?
Whatever it creates. However people react to it.
Well, that previous caller, I have to say I kind of disagree with vehemently because some of the same people who make women who are a part of their culture cover their hair, their face. You'll go into an establishment they own, and they'll be very disrespectful to women that are outside of that. And I mean, that's with all religions. You have people who practice it in a certain way. But I find that to be an oddity. Have you guys noticed that?
Well, I do know that there are people who are, and I'll use this term, fundamental, very, very strictly adhered to their religious teachings. There are, if you go to places like, I think the Taliban has taken over Afghanistan, and the women have to wear full clothing, burqa. They cover everything, their face, their hair, their entire bodies. And a lot of that has to do with, and that just drives it, patriarchy. I'm sure the women would want to be wearing all those heavy clothes, but culture says that they should. I mean, you see it in Iran, where women cover their heads. If you ever watch correspondents who are doing in certain Muslim countries, for example, you will see where they cover their heads, right? I mean, out of respect for Islamic law. But then that pushes up, and it's real interesting because even Pentecostalism in America was a real pushback on modernity. And one of the issues with modernity is the rights that women will realize in terms of our modern time. You know, if I'm looking at a writing that was written 2,000 years ago and try to apply some of that to today, I think that's inappropriate. It does not apply because of the society we live in America, and specifically where women have rights that women did not enjoy in ancient Palestine, right? Exactly. And in most societies, in Africa, in Asia, it really didn't matter. Women were always in a subservient position. We look now where we have more women in college than men. And so now that pushes up against how we as men have been taught to view ourselves, to be head of the household, to be king in the palace. And now we're pushing up with this whole thing of equality. And what is equality in terms of male and female? What does that look like? And because the power dynamics are shifting, I think it was Al who was talking about how you had women back in the day who didn't work. They were materially dependent on a man. And so they put up with all kind of abuse, right? Because this is how they were going to survive. Women now are more empowered. The fact that we have contraceptives means that women can choose when they have children, right? And then there are brothers who push back on, now they talk about they don't need you. They don't need men. They don't need you to be sitting there and you another mouth to feed. I mean, you sit up there like the children. So brothers, if you feel like that's an issue, what positions have we put ourselves in? in terms of empowering ourselves is it Lettucey that has a song Add to Me, and she wants, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that.
To your point, Keith, many times like this thing that's going on the internet where I think millennial and Gen Z men and women are going back and forth on how grandma used to be. And a lot of times the guys who are talking about how grandma used to be are not taking account in, well, probably great-grandfather and great-great-grandfather were the ones who were really like what they're talking about. Those individuals were able to build a house from the ground, from the foundation up. And you don't come in with those skill set and you're wanting a woman nor the ability to support this woman and allow her to be at home to do all those things that you talk about. Yet you anticipate or expect that, and I'm speaking as a father and grandfather of young ladies, them to be raised in a way that they will act like your great grandmother when you don't have the skill set, even if they wanted to make a family survive and grow a family. I think that is unfair on their part, and on the part of the young ladies, the expectation that they can take that point which we were just making, that I'm agreeing with you on, where they can do anything they want to, you know, outside of marriage in ways, and post it on social media. Great grandma might have had a couple guys on the side, but nobody never gonna know about it because they were in another town down south or somewhere, wherever they were. And maybe some of the kids didn't belong to great granddaddy, but he raised them, and he might have known it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I guess I digress. We were talking
No,
about
but I think that's a great point in terms of, I work with brothers, and you know, sometimes we're in our silos, you know, we're in our little echo chamber, and you know, so you know, we encourage brothers, men, to get DNA tests. Now, it in her virtue, why I wouldn't get out on you? Wrong. Wrong. It just, and women are more empowered now. And if you talk about that was going on in the South in the country, you know, then you know it's going on up north with us here. And I just think you're right, man. And I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to do stereotypes and put out these general statements. But I want to say this. I feel comfortable with this. Women are so much smarter than men. I'll leave it at that. Y'all can fill in the blanks, but they are so much smarter. And I think that sometimes because we all in, oh man, you think you rolling? Dude, she's playing chess when you playing checkers.
Yes, sir. And I think, Keith, that the younger Gen Z people are actually totally reimagining. They're going to do better than the younger Gen X and the millennials, I believe. I think they're totally reimagining what a family looks like, what handling your finances and career will look like. And it won't look nothing like, I think we were the last bastion of people, Gen X, who were trying to live the traditional way that I was speaking of earlier. And I think they'll do a better job of co-parenting, even if they are not married for life or whatever. And so, I mean, it's in some ways, to me, encouraging that there is a shift coming. And I think the people that are coming of age and have come of age in the last 20 years are kind of like people who came of age during the Industrial Revolution. You may not succeed as much as your children will at this change of technology and of life change.
And I agree.
I think it's totally different, but they'll do better.
I think that, and it was one of the things that conservatives had an issue with the what they called the Black Lives Matter manifesto, was one of those points that they had was that they recognize all families, right? How families look. And there's a certain level of hypocrisy when they're black people sitting up here talking about, well, you know, a family is a dad and a mom and 2 kids. For many of us, that wasn't our experiences. Many of us have half brothers and sisters, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and so that understanding that our reality is different than the fantasies. That's why, and you're still able to sell the wedding fantasy to women, maybe men too, but this whole idea, this is why so much money is spent on weddings and the whole fantasy. But here's the reality. There is the wedding and then there's the marriage. And they are two separate things. And though on April the 8th, 1995, one of the greatest days in my life, oh man, April 10th came. And April 10th was the day that we had to start doing all that business of marriage, changing records, bank accounts, all those things. And now you're looking at it, they say, where did love go? Well, love, it was Tyrese got the song Transactional. Is that where, talk what it is when you start talking about marriage, it is transactional. You signed a contract, and so that is a contract. That's an agreement. That's a covenant between two people. And primarily to deal with material things. Marriage license don't make you love the person that you married. The other thing is that everybody getting married ain't necessarily in love or gonna stay in love long, because like I said, when the responsibility of that relationship hits, now it's like,
everybody is desirable until they become your responsibility.
Oh man,
did you see this thing about Journey Smollett? I'm gonna get off here after that.
Oh man, don't talk about Journey.
Having to pay child support and alimony to her husband to the point, and I think some of the money she had been earning and putting away since she was 3 years old.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of women had a problem with that, but those same women didn't have as much a problem when Barry Bonds had to give up $100 million.
Yeah, and that's the other piece of it. And I hear, I work with child support, full transparency. Woman's state. Well, no, it's the person who got the kids state, right? Yeah. That's when you start talking about child support. And then I'd be looking at some of these dudes. I'm like, dude, you're not in a position to materially provide on a full-time scale or have the willingness to do what it has to do, because women end up making the sacrifices. Then I hear, oh, she ain't this and she ain't that. She wasn't this, she wasn't that before y'all had the baby. But guess who's responsible for providing the material care for the baby? Usually it falls on women. Society says that, women, they're programmed to do that. And then you sit up here, then I have brothers out here acting like she getting rich off the $150 a month you send it. She ain't getting rich. Then I hear, dude, she getting her hair done. And I'm looking at you. You got a fresh haircut. I'm looking at those Jordans you wearing. So this idea, and I don't know if we're normalizing pathology when it comes to, because once you have kids, there's a big word called sacrifice. Sacrifice. I asked the dudes, how many of y'all heard me ask the question, how many of y'all know somebody quit their job because their car note was too high? Ain't nobody quit no job because the car note too high, but you gonna quit your job so you don't have to pay child support? Wait a minute. What's the value? And then out here, I love my kids. Yeah, man. But my wife says this, God bless her. She said, if you love me, buy me something. Her point is that love ain't what you verbalizing. Love is what you actualize. Love is what you materialize. That's when we talk about love languages. That's something that we do. It's a verb. Not so much you sitting there and you're trying to make it. And look, I don't know that there's a lot of dynamics that go into these relationships. I'm clear on that. I have not had kids, and I know the dynamics and how difficult relationships could be. So when you start factoring in kids, now you got a different thing going on. If Barack and Michelle are going to break up, they raise their kids.
They raise their kids. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
All right, man. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
You probably got to reset.
All right. 414-444-5250. Yeah, man. I just, and look, and sisters, man, have been carrying an enormous load. Yeah. This brother called in and talked about how, as men, we didn't always feel actualized, right? Yeah. And that goes into a whole lot of domestic violence that we see where men are at a weakened point. And so the only thing you want to do is kick the dog, right? You want to lash out at that which is there. And then you have people who are not very comfortable in themselves, where they have to be very controlling. You know, I mean, it ain't on her now, it's on him.
Yeah.
And the help that he needs, you know, in terms to empower himself. And so we need to find those outlets that how again, and then I was asking the question yesterday, because in some instances we have raised some of our boys to be so irresponsible, so self-centered, and then they get hit with responsibility, i.e. a child, and they're not ready because the whole world is evolved around them. I said one of the difficulties that we have when we teach healthy relationships and fatherhood is that a lot of times a lot of people taking the classes have not seen examples of that. The examples that they see have been very negative. So, you know, I remember asking my mom, I said, Mom, you know, because my mom and dad got divorced when I was very young. I said, man, if you and dad, or my dad, I didn't call him dad, you and my dad had stayed together, what do you think would have happened? She said, you might not have turned out to be the person that you turned out to be. And I kind of backed up and I thought about what she was saying. Just having a man in the home don't necessarily mean that that man is a positive presence in the home. You know, and so how we get in there? It's like Baby Boy. The thing about Baby Boy, at the beginning of the movie, the sociologist that they use, she talks about how in some ways, for whatever reasons, maybe the circumstances, the culture, we started raising our boys to be dependent on women. And so if you notice what happened in Baby Boy, she also uses the term crib, because we talk about crib, talking about somebody's house. But she said it was more symbolic of men who are growing up to be basically man-children, if that's. And so what happens? So when Jody, which I thought was a very interesting choice of a name, when Jody finally gets to the point where, you know, he gonna move out of his mama's house, where'd he move? To his girl's house.
He sure did. Yep. His girl house in the hood.
And they said, wow, look at that. Yeah. You know, he moved out of his mama's house. But he moved into another house where now, where he's gonna be. So how do we raise our boys, you know, to be responsible?
Yeah. I think putting it in them when they're younger, you know, just installing into the young men respect, how to treat people, how to treat yourself. And I think that'll go a long way as they're growing up, because that seed that's planted while they're younger, it's going to grow with them. So if you plant a bad seed when they're young, as they get older, that bad seed has to grow.
All right. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Keith. Good morning. Good morning to everybody in the studio. I don't know, I'm getting the feedback.
Turn your volume down on your phone. That's why you're getting a little feedback.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Hey, so I've been listening about and hearing all of the responses from the callers, and but I have a question for you, Keith. Now, in our school system, obviously, for every person, there's a different perspective on what you're talking about today. However, do you think that the school system should teach us how to live and the values that we should have to have the best life that we possibly can have? Because I think a lot of these here people, they do a lot of things because they just don't know any other way to go in life. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Yeah, it's, we part of what we do is healthy relationships, right? And what healthy relationships should look like. And it's the ideal, because we understand the reality is that you have two human beings there and we bring our stuff to the table. I think school is a part of that, but I guess as long as there's been human beings, there's conflict, and I don't, I don't know how it's not. I love to say it should be eliminated, but it won't. As long as there's me, and long as I was. Someone used what Jesus said: "If two or three are gathered in my name, I'll be in the midst." Yeah. And I said, the devil said the same thing. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that with human beings, we bring our stuff to the table, and there is conflict. There is a word that people think is a bad word, but which really actually is a good word, which is compromise. The ability to give up a little something, something, and both parties give up a little something, something, so people then can move on to something else, or move on to resolution of the conflict. You're listening to Community Voice. Again, the phone line's open: 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. The original question is it the dresser or is it the beholder? We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice Caller. We thank you for your patience. Welcome to the program. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. My late friend, the elder Ronald Lynn Banks, said something to me one of the last conversation we had. And he said to me, Keith, you taught me a couple of things. I said, oh man, I taught you. You were my idol. He said, man, he said that I taught you, or I learned from you the importance and the value of words. I said, oh, I appreciate that. And then he said, I learned from you never fall in love with a woman from behind. And there's this woman. I could tell you what she's wearing today. She had on a cream top, which was cashmere. Yeah. She had on pearls. Yeah. She had on a pair of rust pants, which had 6 buttons, high boy. Yeah. She had on a pair of medium, almost beige pumps. Yeah. And I got to meet her. And I met her.
Oh, yeah.
And she was the smartest, which was really what I find attractive in a woman, is just how smart she was. She's just so smart. But it was the most tumultuous relationship. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Minister Parris?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I called earlier. And when I called earlier, I was kind of in a giddy mood. I was probably not taking that subject. After I digested and went back and did a little research, I got a couple things to ask you about, and I am picking a bone with you because I need to. Okay. First of all, I am a caller, and so when we need to come to an understanding, first of all, we need to put some filters on that one gentleman that calls here. Reason why? Because yesterday he called Michelle Bryant a demon, and then he turned around and called all of us, all other callers, jerks. So, and maybe this is a question for Debo. I think he's the manager, maybe or something. But anyway, at any rate, where do we draw filters or disclaimer to folks that calls the show and disgrade and the N-word? I grew up with all my life. It don't bother me like that. But when you, as a talk show host, allow that word and allow that language to constantly be thrown around all willy-nilly, that's troubling. And so, I love this show. Don't get me wrong. I love it because it's what we need, what we got, and it's informative. But, I'm not going to compare apples to apples, you or Michelle. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to ask of you is, and your staff and whatever you guys do, we got to put an end to some of that foolishness, man. Sometimes the energy in the room is great, but then that call come in, and then I'm sure the energy just changed. Now, you brothers, be laughing and giggling because you're at work and you want to enjoy yourself. But I love you, brothers. Don't get me wrong. But if you think about it as a whole, we are a listening audience. We need more than that.
Should we?
We don't need to be degraded. We don't need to be degraded like that, brother. We need to pick up the steam, and we need to move forward. When a brother call like that, you say, you got filters, and and when it's time to let it go, because I used to have, what's his name? What's the brother's name that's down the road now? Sharon Hughes. That brother will hang up on you in a heartbeat. And sometimes we need to cut through the chase and do that.
But you know what? The problem that I might have with this, turn your radio down. The problem that I might have with this is, what is censorship? And do people, because look, before Meech even called, someone did a personal attack. So I think we should avoid personal attacks in general, because that's what people do. And a lot of times, I think it's Socrates' book on how to win an argument. And a lot of it is we start getting personal because the facts don't support our argument. So then we attack the person that we're arguing with, as opposed to staying. Remember, I kept saying, stay on point. You get all digressed. Man, you doing this, and man, no, we ain't gonna talk about that. So I appreciate that. It is a delicate balance. I am not dismissing what you have said. I'm just saying that it is a delicate balance between how much.
It's frustrating.
I know it's frustrating, but here's the other piece of it. That's the thing about conversations. They can lead us.
Well, come on.
No, let me make my point. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. We hear what we hear, right? And then we say, well, I didn't like that. And I appreciate that. But I will agree with you, this whole personal piece that people will call in and they will attack Meech. And I'm going to defend Meech. Meech gets by a lot of people.
I think you need to apologize to the sister, because she does. Y'all all work too hard, but you got to do something to kind of balance this. And I'm just being realistic. I do not want to stop being a listener.
And I don't want you to stop being a listener, but I want you to also be fair. And here's the other thing.
I'm being fair.
Just because
I'm bringing some.
No. What I'm saying, okay, let me rephrase it, because I'm not attacking you, and I don't want you to take it this way. What I'm saying is that it is, people will have a reaction to things. Now, let me give you my own personal experience. All right. My late colleague, Keon Jackson Malone, would go through the roof.
And rest in peace, brother.
Rest in peace. Rest in power. And stop messing with folks up there. He would get upset when I would refer to the deity in a feminine tense. I mean, to the point that he got violently upset. Right? Now, okay. So what I'm saying is, sometimes I don't want to. It's a balance, man, and I appreciate what you're saying. I would say this to all of us: let's not be personal, and let's not attack people. Attack the idea, not the person who's presenting the idea. And I'll do a better job of shutting people down. I'll do a better job of shutting people down when it goes into that direction. Is that fair?
He always have a tendency of any subject that's being imposed. He go black boy on you. He turns into that black boy. I'm gonna say it like that because that's ignorance. That's being ignorant. And then if y'all gonna allow it, that's fine.
No. But did you hear what I just said?
I heard every word you said.
And what did I say?
You said that in terms of personal attacks, we need to minimize.
And I will do what? I'll do a better job of doing what? Shutting it down.
Terminating it.
And so that's fair.
Yeah. Okay. But let me just get my other thought, and I'll let you get going. So on one of your breaks, I did some little research on, initially, your statement was regarding the women, as far as, the little word you use, not a beholder, but it was another, it was starting with an O.
Objectify.
Well, maybe so or whatever. But I want you to understand, brother, I would never, when men, evil people go out here and rape a woman, it gets no lower than that. Don't get me wrong. None of that, all of that. But we do have to understand that the way that you brought it to us as a listening audience, the way you brought the question, you imposed it in a way of very sexist, because you said it in a way of like just all out here in this world is just men go after women. That's not the case. There is so many women out here in need of men, and that's why you might have a minimize of women calling today. That one woman, she was pissed off about Meech and she hung up. But I'm just saying, but we have to really do a little bit more soul searching when we present these questions to our listening folks. But I took it in a way, and you kept saying stay on point, but it was a blanket statement. I didn't really know how to address your question, because you started with your Sunday school, and it was about a woman and the way her adornment was, her attire, and then as it grew, you put it in the eyes of the beholder. So that would go both ways. So you kind of jump script on us.
No,
So
I asked you, but that question was intentional. It was intentionally asked the way that it was asked, because it is open-ended. Is it the beholder or is it the dresser? Is it how we react to how we see people dressed? Or is it the person and what they have some nefarious, there's a nice word, some nefarious thing that they're trying to do? I don't know if it was you or whomever said that when we get dressed, we are dressing for other people. We are dressing to be seen. We are dressing to be attractive, or that people are complimentary in how we dress. We do that. It's called appearance. But I think that
for me is not to put the same thing on twice and each day.
I know, man. I'm with you, man. It's like, and then people bump into me on the street and they be going, "I didn't know that was you." I said, "I'm incognito." I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I just think that we are. It is, and look, we're sensual. What I mean by sensual is we see, we smell, we taste, we feel, we hear. Those things are there. But how, it's like, I see a sister from across the room. I used to hear sisters say that. What attracted you to him? His personality from 50 feet?
Yeah.
No, it's how he looked.
That's how I deal with my wife for 41 years. That old girl was shining like sparkle from way on the other side of the room.
Yeah, so you always go on your sensual reaction. It's something somebody said. It's something you smell. You always, then it moves into a higher context of, great personality. Oh, great intellect. Love their sense of humor. Share things. But it's kind of hard for me to believe that you're attracted to a personality 50 feet away. That is, boy, I wish I had that kind of personality.
Yeah, how would you know?
Because the perception, and here's one of the things, and let me cry and feel sorry for myself. Because they used to tell me at work, "Oh, he arrogant. He think he all that." And I'm going, I'm the shyest person you've ever met. Maybe that's me trying to compensate for my shyness, that I look confident, because privately, I'm not always feeling, we look for things to give our lives meaning. That's why when we're younger, we're athletic, we're still trying to win. Right? I mean, and you can tell when you've gotten old, because it don't mean that much to win. But when you like 20, dude, it's oh man, we in it to win it, man. Because and maybe that's our hormones, it's all those things that go in, and then you find out something else. This is why I'm such a fan of women's basketball. We as men underestimate the competitiveness, that women are as competitive as men. And they didn't have a lot of competitive outlets that now they have. Sports is a competitive outlet. You watch these women out there, they're in it to win it. And that's good, because that's human. It should not be male or female, it's human. And then it gets into some of the more negative things we see. I used to tell dudes, look, she ain't fighting over you, she's fighting because of you. I'll say it again. She's not fighting over you, she's fighting because of you. And then it gets to the point, both of them know you ain't, but it don't matter now, because I'm not going to lose to her.
Right.
And we both know this dude ain't worth the effort.
Yeah.
I hear crickets. Okay. Dropped? Okay. Now, I mean, that, so you think, oh, man, they out here. No. Especially, I worked when I was a case manager, and this woman came in. I worked on the South Side, and she was a recovering drug addict. And the reason why she ended up having to come in to apply for benefits was that the guy that she was with, they both had met and they both were doing drugs. He got clean. They both got clean. She got pregnant, and she had a relapse.
Oh, no.
And he basically put her out.
Really?
Yeah. And so this whole idea of love is when I see you naked, and I'm not talking about physically naked. I'm just talking about when I really see, there's a song by Noah Pointer. I love this song. When I Feel Your Soul. When you get a chance to really see people in their natural state, good, bad, or evil, good, bad, or indifferent. There you go. And you still love that person. That's love. Because it's great. The prophet Maurice White said, lovers' eyes are blessed, only see the best. Until you actually begin to see there's another side. There's a young lady. First time I met her, I was in her dorm room. It was incredibly neat. Oh my God, what a great dorm room. It was just like neat. I did a pop in when I went up and surprised her. That dorm room didn't look anything like it did when I first met her, because I saw her dorm room in her natural state. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Can I get some applause? Good morning. Can I finally
get a female calling in, right?
You got everything going on. Flips, somersaults, and bells ringing, and all type of stuff going on.
Yeah, do nice flowers now. But you know what? I haven't heard anybody call in. So I want to just say thank you to Women's Day. Like you said, when a woman put the son out of the house, they go to grandma, cousins, and women, a girlfriend or a standby, maybe it's that too. And the women who come visit people the most over the years, the women come to the jail. So no one said, I want to thank y'all women for all that you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If I got a spouse at home and maybe it's changed over the years, why do I have to take the kid to the dentist, to the doctor's appointments, parents, teachers conference? You get personal vacation time just like I do. So I want somebody to call in a man. I want to thank the women. I'm going to tell you about Valentine's Day. That's everybody's day. This is Women's Day. You got a woman you like. It don't have to be somebody you're married to or have a relationship with. You know a woman that babysits, kept your kids over the years. If we talk to somebody, reach out to a friend's mother or sister in a nursing home or hospital and say, I'm going to bring her a flower in or just a plant in for the day to thank women, because I don't even have any children. And guess what? Auntie Kathy got everybody on the block and somebody else's block. Auntie Kathy. Okay, so thank the women. No one called to thank the women on this show. And you know, sex and prostitution been around for years, and it ain't going to change at all. It ain't going to change. That's what people do. A man used to take a woman to a concert and then buy her an outfit to wear with it. I always thought that was kind of disgusting myself. But my dad said, "Don't let nobody buy your underwear for you." I bought my own underwear, and I don't need you to buy me a dress to go to the concert, because there won't be no play after the concert. We're not doing all that, okay? We're not going to do that, Keith. You know what I'm saying? Okay,
but there's gonna be something. I bought you a dress and I paid for a concert ticket and I took you to dinner. Something gonna happen.
Right? Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop it. Okay, like it's hot. And I was willing to do that, but see, they won't get that piece because you're not buying my outfit to the concert. I might buy your ticket to the concert.
And guess what? You be putting some pressure on me. I just took you to dinner and took you to a concert, and now you want to go home? I don't think so.
All I got to do is massage your legs and shoulders a little bit, tell you I got a hot tub like that. And you know what they be doing? They be saying, we're a hot tub there. I see people today, Kath, you still got that hot tub? I said, well, look at me. Am I still hot? You know? And I put clothes on. I like loose clothes. I like fitted clothes. I mean, I'm a 5'8", 134 pounds, bust size 34D, okay? I'm not out here trying to spread nothing with nobody, okay? I'm looking for someone who's got a good head on their shoulders, and I don't want someone to go to church every day either, because don't fake it with me, okay?
All right, then.
Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But thank women. There's all types of women out here. Go to a daycare and just drop off some pizza for all the women working at the daycare. I don't know what man works at a daycare unless he owns it. Group homes. There are women running group homes. Thank them. Don't do, you don't bring no roses. Bring them some flowers. Say, well, can I donate some food for the day for your daycare center for your workers? Buy them a gift card so they can buy something for somebody. It's always the women. I worked down this jail for years. All the women used to come in with sexy clothes on until the clerk stopped it, okay?
Okay.
Thank the women. Call in and last caller, please thank a female for taking care of this world. Bless y'all.
Yep.
I'm going to the daycare.
No, you better not be going to
I'm going to the daycare.
There was I used to love wrestling back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would go to shows and I would take, like people I work with, their kids, like, you want to to the show, and one of my buddy's sons, he said, Keith, I really want to thank you, man, for when you took us to the wrestling matches. I said, do not be at my funeral. So Keith took us to the wrestling. Stranger danger. Yeah, And here's the rule. I guess their parents didn't know this. I guess the statute of limitations was up. Once we got in the arena, I said, here's where we're going to meet.
Yeah.
Have a great time.
I'm going.
Because I'm here to watch the wrestling match. Yeah, y'all have a great. Y'all can be buying beer. I don't care what you. All I know is when it's time to leave, you get your behind back here. Okay, right? It was like they always said I was the worst Boy Scout leader. We took the kids up to where we go, Long Lake, and we were doing outdoor camping. And I told the kids, you have to be careful where you eat. And that, you don't want to leave crumbs because raccoons and others, they smell the food.
Yeah.
And so I was in my tent and I hear this scratching on the outside of my tent. So I got out my tent. I went and got in the van and locked the door.
Every man,
these little Negroes out there, they had no clue. They wake up in the morning, and I'm standing out there, dude. I slept in that bed. Y'all could have been eating.
King, that sound like me. Like somebody got to live and tell the testimony.
Right.
Might as well be
like,
me.
What kind of scout leader are you? You're supposed to put yourself in harm's way. I told him not to be putting food by those tents.
I told him,
dude. I slept in that van that night.
Comfortable.
Real comfortable. Let me get out of that. Don't got to go. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hey, Keith, this Angela calling.
Hey, Angela.
Oh, man.
I just had a comment about the question that you had put forefront. Some, like me, myself, when I used to go out, I used to dress not to catch a man, but just to impress myself, to make myself feel comfortable and look adorable to myself. Like my daughter, the way she dresses today, it really irks me. Because I didn't raise you like that. You know what I'm saying? The way she dresses, she has a daughter. I said, what example are you showing your daughter? How you dressing. She going to think that's how she needs to dress to catch somebody. My daughter had a whole husband. And, it didn't bother him, but it bothered me.
Okay. Well, appreciate you.
It's like you ladies ain't got to dress like that to catch nobody. If they want you, they going to come to you if you dress in your worst.
All right.
All right. You all have a good day.
All right. You too.
And I won't attack Meech anymore.
Okay.
All right. So I have a blessing.
Yeah. And let me do this. I know that the pejorative for whore is hoe. And someone said that, we should try to stay away from that. Obviously, the word whore is talking about a particular person doing a particular thing. But so we should be mindful. And I would also say the N-word. All right. Let me thank you all. I wish more sisters would have called. Byron, thank you, man. Debo, thank you. Jermaine, thank you. The good Lord willing, quick though rise. I'll talk to you guys Thursday. I won't be here tomorrow. Michelle is covering the program. So as always, go from this place in peace.